Guyana, and welcome to another edition of Conversations in State. I am Malika Ramsey. Thank you very much for joining us. This week we return to the Gaming Authority, or I should say, we return with the Gaming Authority. A few months ago, I think he would have been the second or the third guest on Conversations in State. We had the Chief Executive Officer for the Gaming Authority, Mr. Lloyd Moore. He was here along with Miss Christine King, one of the directors, and they spoke about the purpose of the Gaming Authority and so many more things surrounding the Gaming Authority, including the challenges that they faced in terms of enforcing the law and so on, or aiding to enforce the law where gaming and casinos and betting and all of that is concerned in our country. But of course, you'll hear much more from Mr. Moore today than you'll hear from me, because he's going to tell you about improvements, efforts made, and things that are being put in place and things that have been put in place to better that sector. So welcome back to Conversations in State, Mr. Lloyd Moore.
Thank you, Malika.
All right, so great to have you back. Just to set today's discussion in motion, I'd like you to talk about some of the things you talked about the last time, in terms of the laws in itself, so that people will understand the improvement and the changes made.
Okay, Malika. I think last time I was here, I spoke about the fragmented way in which the law that covered gaming was set out. We had the Prevention of Gambling Act, which dealt with they tried to suppress gaming and gaming houses in Guyana. That was the intent. And then we had the Tax Act, which dealt with the issuing of licenses to betting shops. Okay. And then we had the Government Lotteries Act, which dealt with the Guyana lotteries. Let me put them in perspective.
Great.
Initially, we had the Prevention of Gambling Act, which was there to suppress gaming houses and gambling. In order to have lotteries come on board, the government had to put in place the way called the Government Lotteries Act, which made lotteries lawful. Okay? Now, subsequently, in order to issue betting shops licenses, the Tax Act was there to issue licenses for the premises, but not for the activity that were conducted on the premises.
So it's necessary to have two different...
There's a premise license and there's an activity that has to be conducted there. The caveat that the Tax Act put in place was that they indicated that if the activity was unlawful under the Prevention of Gambling Act, right, then it was not lawful if you try to do it utilizing the betting shop licenses.
Okay.
So it was like a big loophole that was created there, where persons recognize that, okay, if I get a betting shop license, I don't think they'll be able to stop me by bringing a game that is unlawful, because they give me a license.
They were
I will fight them.
misinformed.
I will fight them in court and say, look, you give me a license and I'm going to do what I want to do. Okay, and this practice has been going on for years. Okay, now we move to the Gaming Authority. Somehow or the other, they wanted to bring casino gaming to Guyana. So an amendment was made in 2007 to the Prevention of Gambling Act, which made casino gaming lawful and which put in place the Gaming Authority.
Okay.
So initially, when the Gaming Authority came into place, we were looking at being responsible for regulating and supervising casinos. Subsequently, under the AML-CFT Act of 2009, we were given additional supervisory authority for lotteries. So the last time I was here, that was the state that we were at.
Okay.
I'd also indicated to you that we had prepared a comprehensive gaming bill, which we had sent to the Ministry of Legal Affairs, the AG's office, and it was there awaiting preparation to be presented to Parliament.
All right.
Okay?
Now, going forward.
Okay.
And of course, I'm happy that you did that. That indeed puts the conversation in context, especially for those who would have missed before and for people who are still interested in getting involved in this sector. Let's talk about where you know what response you would have gotten from the Attorney General's office regarding this sector and making improvements and putting things into place in terms of making it legal.
Okay. Well, the bill is still with the AG's office, but what we were happy about is that early in the year, during his discussion with the press, the AG had indicated that set out for this year, 2018, one of the bills that was set to be presented to Parliament is our bill. So we're happy about that.
How urgent, even before you continue, Mr. Moore, how urgent is it? And in terms of the requests and the responses that you've been getting for the public, how urgent is that bill?
It should have been here like yesterday.
Okay.
I'll be frank with you. The gaming bill is comprehensive. It covers every form of gaming that we will likely have in this country, and it allows us to restrict those type of gamings that we don't want to have at all within the country. So it's a document which can enable us to regulate and properly supervise the gaming sector. In particular, now that we are preparing for the fourth round of the CFATF rights, CTAF, which is the Caribbean
Yes, the financing of terrorism.
no, the action
action of
task,
itself. Yes, the action task force. Yes.
So basically, that is where we are right now. We have to ensure that we can, the gaming sector is in a position to.
I know it's technical and some things you would
not,
want to take your time.
It's not really technical. Is that we have to meet the AML-CFT requirements. That is one of the things that has to be done. We can't run away from that. We have to meet that requirement, and we also have to meet the requirement of CTAF. Because if we don't pass that fourth round, we're gonna find ourselves having sanctions placed against us again. We've already passed that stage. We don't want to go back, so we have to go forward. So everything that we do in the Gaming Authority has to be geared to ensure that we can monitor, that we can regulate, and that we can supervise the Gaming Authority to ensure that no money laundering or finance of terrorism can be done through that particular sector. So that is where we're at right now. In an effort to ensure that we can have some element of control in ensuring that the entities that are currently operating in Guyana and those that would like to come to operate in Guyana are compliant with the AML-CFT Act. The Minister of Finance this year has granted us the supervisory authority over the betting shops.
And that, okay, again, let's put this in context. This is something new for the Gaming Authority in that you did not have authority over those shops.
That's what
before?
I told you last time. I say we didn't have the authority to deal with the betting shops because they were outside of our purview. But now under the AML-CFT, we are now the supervisory body for those betting shops.
As supervisory body, what are you required to do?
Now, under the AML-CFT Act, we are required to ensure that only fit and proper persons are issued licenses to operate betting shops or gaming houses. We are there to ensure that the premises that are being utilized are also fit and proper. So it's fit and proper persons and premises that are set to utilize those that can operate under the betting shop licenses, right? Now, what we've done in order to ensure that we can do our work in a proper and professional manner, we've organized with the GRA, who will still be issuing the betting shop licenses, a system whereby we will do what you call the due diligence checks prior to persons being issued their licenses, their betting shop licenses. What it simply means is that persons wishing to have a betting shop license will have to apply for us for what we call a certificate and a letter of good standing. which would actually say to the GRA that we have checked their background, we've checked their finances, we've done our due diligence on these persons, and that they are fit and proper persons to be issued this license.
I just want to pause here. I don't know how specific you can get on this program if it's going to be too much. In terms of fit and proper, are there one or two things that you can probably pinpoint to say, well, this must happen, this must not happen, or this must be in place, this must not be in place?
No, okay. Fit and proper, when we say fit and proper, right, there are certain things that we're looking for. We're looking for the integrity of the persons, the honesty of the persons. We're looking at your finances to ensure that the sources of your finances are legal and not illegal funding, that it's clean and not, as we would say, not money from illegal or other sources, right? We're looking to see your state of your assets to understand whether or not you're financially sound to carry on the business of gaming. Those are the areas that we look into.
Okay.
And what we have done is that we've, in order to shorten the time frame within which we can gather the type of information we need, we've established two sets of forms which we have persons come in to us to uplift, fill in, and return to us. It makes it easier for us to now go and do the background check because we have information which we can work with. And those forms are a business entity disclosure application and disclosure form, which calls for a lot of information on your business or business entity, on the directors, the substantial owners, right? The persons who hold more than 5% of the shares within the company. We have to get all of the information on those persons. And to add to that, once you're a director or one of these persons that is fitted in that class, manager, CEO, those sort of things, you have to prepare what we call the personal history disclosure form on yourself, which now gives us detail about you, the individual.
Does this extend to maybe your close relatives, friends?
Your spouse and an immediate dependent family.
Question. In the event that all of the information is provided, you're proven to be, quote unquote, fit and proper, and the gaming authority does its work, and everything is fine, and you go ahead, you're able to establish your business, and you start, and in the middle of that, maybe a year, 2 years down the line, the first thing I should ask you, if there are measures in place to ensure that you keep checking to see that the entrepreneurs of these types of businesses live up to what they would have agreed to initially, and if they're not, what is in place then for the gaming authority to take action?
Well, as I'm saying, the due diligence doesn't stop.
Okay.
It is continuous. The monitoring is continuous, right? Once you've been issued your license and you're operating, we've set out a certain code of conduct for the operations. There are certain things that we request of you in terms of how you operate, what you operate with, the way in which you operate, right? Those are things that are requested of you when you're conducting your operation. And it is set out also too in what the information that is sent to the reporting entities from the FIU, how they need to conduct their business, what type of reporting they need to do. And we ensure that those reporting are done, and we monitor them to ensure that they do that. If at any time we, during our monitoring, recognize that there's any type of suspicious activity, we would inform the FIU. But they of themselves are, under the arrangement, are responsible also for reporting those activities to the FIU. In terms of if we are doing our checks and doing our monitoring, we find that there may be some minor
violation?
I won't call it a violation. There's something that they're not doing correctly.
Okay.
Then we would.
It may not be intentional.
No, as I'm saying. So we will correct. We will show them what is the correct thing. And we also have a system where we conduct in what we call sessions, right, for the reporting entities who we are responsible for, showing them what they need to do, what documentation they need to prepare, how they need to prepare it, keeping them abreast with all the new developments within the AML CFT on the AML CFT Act within the financial sector. So if there's any change, we inform them.
Okay, all right.
Right.
Viewers, if you're now tuning in, this is Conversations in State. Today we are chatting again with the Chief Executive Officer of the Gaming Authority, Mr. Lloyd Moore. Of course, as you know, that is a very serious sector, and proper things need to be put in place. Have thus far, since you've gotten more authority to ensure that the laws are being upheld, has the system been tried and tested?
Well, so far we've had a few persons come in and uplifted the forms. One person's returned in the forms already. Okay, and that will be sent to that has been sent already to the boards. They will be doing the assessment and communicating with the individual person as to what the
What's
position is.
next?
But the amount of information that is received in these documents now makes it easier for us to get our work done, right? And if when persons come into us and we will sit with them and we discuss with them, so they understand exactly what is required of them. Okay, one of the things that we intend to do, and that's in a short while to come, I've programmed to have meetings with the various persons who we've recognized so far have been utilizing the betting shop licenses
Okay.
to discuss with them what will be the new requirements, right, now that we are the supervisory body for the betting shops. So, so far, one entity has come into us, right? Another one came into us just to get the application form. One came into us to have a discussion, and we had a discussion with them and indicated exactly what is required. That's the company that collected their forms and filled them in and had them be submitted back to us. So that is the state that we are at right now. But I would advise all of the entities outside there that as early as possible, because I'll be frank with you, the GRE will not be issuing betting shop licenses unless you are in possession of the letter of good standing,
Which has
and
to come
which
from
has to come from the
Gaming
Gaming
Authority.
Authority.
Before we talk about some other things, and I think it's very important for you to, of course, this is without necessarily naming names, the composition of the board, so that people can get an understanding. Well, look, you are in good hands, professional people who understand what they're doing.
Okay, we have two lawyers on the board, and we have an accountant, and we have a lecturer from the University of Guyana.
Okay.
That's in the form of the Colonel King,
Okay.
right, Christine King. So they're persons who are versed in what they do, and in particular when it comes to the Gaming Authority, the legal knowledge and the accounting knowledge are very, very important. That is what enables us to do our work in a very quick and swift manner. Our compliance officer also is also a lawyer, a legal person. So basically, that is the way in which we are pushing forward. We're trying to ensure that as far as possible, when dealing with the public or any person who will be desirous of coming into the area, that we deal with them in a professional manner, very professional. We don't go on the air or go on the newspaper to discuss any issues. Many times we don't even respond when people would put false news outside there, because that is not the way we intend to do things.
And again, it's a sensitive sector.
It's a very sensitive sector, right? And we've given assurances to the persons who come in to make their applications to us, and we have to maintain that.
And yeah, you have to respect that. I think I asked you this the last time you were here, but of course that's a lot of months would have elapsed. I had asked you about if you find that there is a rush for people who want this kind of business established. And again, now that you have this authority, do you find that there's a rush? Because you are urging them to, ensure that they come to you, because GRA would not be issuing them licenses. Is there that rush now?
No, there's a rush to get licenses, but the rush comes from organized organized gamers who have looked. I think they've looked at Guyana now that I've been frank. The oil is here,
Yes.
and people are seeing a boom that is coming. There's going to be a lot of excess liquidity within the economy, and persons are going to be looking to try to see in ways in which they can come in and get a piece of the, I call it a piece of the pie. That is why we have to be very careful. That is why we have to be very sensible and very constructive in the manner in which we deal with this issue of the gaming sector. I know that there are many persons out there who feel that, gaming shouldn't come to Guyana.
Yeah.
It has all these detriments and so. But
People, yeah, I think
let me
people
be
rush
frank.
to crime.
Well,
People,
let me be frank with them.
okay.
Gaming is here already, and it has been here for quite a long time.
How would you, and I'm really happy that you raised this, that there are a lot of people who are not necessarily for it, because, and I think like anything, people always think about your security first, the security of a country, and people who are saying that, man, this may add to whatever crime situation that we have. Oh, what can you, and I mean, I know you're not security, but what can you say to probably reassure people, well, look, this is happening, and this is here, and,
Okay, let me be frank, right? Gaming is here. It is here in every single form we can think about. The online betting, everything is here. Okay?